Hello, I'm Clara Gibson and I'm a life health and wellbeing coach with makethatdifference.org and yourhealthinyourhands.usana.com. Both of those sites you can check me out and see the work that I do. Today I'm introducing you to the Events, Hormones and Health Calendar, which is for women of all ages, from sort of menarche, just having started your periods, right through to beyond the menopause, because our patterns of the way that we feel about ourselves, the way that we behave depending upon how we're feeling about ourselves, are set very much from our early years and are continue way beyond the menopause. So becoming aware of how you respond and how you act and react to how you're feeling can really give you a good handle on being able to take charge of your life and to also be able to see your life very much more positively than otherwise. Some people do recognize that they have very negative patterns of thinking. They are aware that they're a glass half full, or half empty, should I say, or nearly empty, or that it's just not the right glass kind of human being. And that is just a pattern. It's just a pattern. It's just a habit that you have got into. And so, depending upon the way that you may have been shown how your periods were likely to be by the conversations that you overheard, but from your mother, with your grandmother, with the women that were around in or are around in their lives, can certainly have given you or set you your path, the way that you see your own menstrual cycle. And this is a real shame, because really, if it wasn't for our menstrual cycle, we actually wouldn't be women. It is the thing that has defined us, whether we're past having our menstrual cycle or not. Um, and it is so important to get in touch with the things that make us feminine from the inside, not just how we clad ourselves, because that's about society's expectations. And as we learn to listen to our bodies, to tune in to our energies, our different energies, our creativity, our thoughtfulness, our reflectiveness, then we tune into our own nature, and we also tune into the to the nature that we live amongst. We are, sentient beings. It's really important that we tune into that, and as we do, our lives will change. Our lives will become much more precious and enjoyable, and you really will get so much more out of your life as you tune in and work with yourself rather than really resist so much of what your barometer, your body, is telling you. So let me just introduce what this Events, Hormones and Health Calendar is about. In order to get your own, I do recommend that you email me at clara.gibson@btinternet.com. Do put Events and Hormones Health Calendar in the subject line. I will email you a PDF, and so then all you need to do is to print off about 4 copies. This will enable you to monitor how you respond and experience yourself and life over 4 months, and over that period of time you will most certainly be able to see your own patterns. So once you've got your own version of this Events, Hormones and Health Calendar in your hand, write the month. If it was today, then that's June. You'd write the date from the 25th through to the end of the month. Then you'd actually write July up here, and you'd write from 1 through to as many days as you'll get in here, and then you would start from the next day on your next calendar. if you have, whenever you have your period, you would put a tick under that particular date and for the number of days that you bleed. If you then have any spot bleeding during the month, some women have mid-cycle spot bleeding, and towards the menopause, people may experience lengthier periods and much more intermittent bleeding. But also by recording what you do have, it enables women to have much greater awareness of whether they bleed a lot or not so much. And very often, because of the negative thinking that women do, many women hold about their menstrual cycle, by recording how much they do, they realise that maybe it's not as bad as they had thought. Now, then you want to document, and you so for any day that you experience any of these um, physical sensations, symptoms, you could call them, ways that your appetite changes, the way that you may be feeling effective, your mind, your memory working well, how your mood is, whether you're feeling anxious, depressed, low mood, whether you go on a spending spree because you're feeling really bad about yourself, because typically you will only go on a spending spree when you're feeling not too good about yourself, whether you have good energy, whether you're feeling creative, whether you have lots of vivid dreams. Some you will find that at different times of your menstrual cycle you will dream differently. Whether you notice that you're less effective than normal, or you just feel particularly ineffective. It's useful to record that. Whether you engage in comfort eating, now that may indeed be related to the changes in your hormones premenstrually, or it may just be that actually something didn't go right in your day. So really being very dedicated to recording whether you've had a good life event, a good happening in your day. It might just be that somebody was complimentary about your hair or what you were wearing, or a piece of work that you did, or that your children were sweet, or your partner was absolutely delightful to you, that your family were just lovely and attentive, etc. And one happening of somebody just doing something lovely can put you in a good mood for the day. And you may pass over things that if you hadn't had that good thing happen, other things might have given you a very different experience for your day. Now, interestingly, if you note actually what things have caused you stress in your day. So this could be that your boss plonked 11 pieces of work on your desk just moments before you were due to go home. Or it might be that your kids were particularly tetchy in the morning and very difficult to get out of the door. Or your partner was rather thoughtless and maybe just left the washing for you to do, or, you know, um, uh, you know, opened the third bottle of milk in the fridge rather than finishing the first, etc. There may be all kinds of things that actually really do aggravate you and then make you notice everything that is wrong in your day. So it's really useful to note, the kind of day that you have had. If you can, make some notes at the back as to what date it was and what kind of event it was that actually really turned your mood. But then note how it has impacted, your energy, whether you went spending, whether you went comfort eating, um, etc. Whether you then got, backache or a headache, etc. Because as you notice, how you respond to different kinds of life events, you may also find that it actually doesn't have so much to do with where you are in your menstrual cycle, but it may have more to do with the life events. As you begin to be aware of, oh my goodness, I get more back pain when I've actually, had something not go right in the day. Um, and then you have the choice to be able to note, okay, right, okay, just because my boss put these things on my desk right now, I am not going to react to it. I'm going to breathe deeply, and I'm going to focus on the good things that went right in my day. I'm going to eat something that is good for me rather than something that I will regret later. And as you notice what you used to do, the old, not helpful patterns that you used to run, then you can begin to develop new patterns and develop those in only by choosing to do things that are good for you, can you develop good new habits. And so, as you develop new habits, you may also find that the difficulties that you might have experienced with your menstrual cycle also diminish as you notice how you eat at different times, how whether you're tired but you actually just kept going. It might enable you to plan differently. As you get used to becoming aware of your mood and your energy differences through your menstrual cycle, you then can begin to plan your diary very differently as you get to recognize that mid-cycle you're more creative, you have greater energy. You can actually plan and use your diary so that you can plan your life to where you can. Of course you can't always, but if you can, plan your diary so that you can do the more meetings. You'll get more done even in less time. You will feel more productive, and then you can schedule later in the month when you are more reflective. Your high energy is less, but you can be very effective. You can do maybe more of the sort of desk jobs, etc., or particular kinds of work with the kids, etc., and not pressurize yourself so much as you begin to work with yourself in a much more humane way. um, you will find that your energy really does begin to change overall, even though you will still have your reflective times. You will work, as I say, working with yourself, going to bed just a little earlier, allowing yourself not to expect so much exactly the same thing of yourself every single day can enable you to really change your life. If you would like to discuss what you're discovering, or even have a discussion about how you can motivate yourself to really utilize this calendar, do contact me at clara.gibson@btinternet.com. I do offer free 30-minute consultations with somebody who's wanting to discuss perhaps how they can move forward and whether coaching would be helpful to them, because sometimes just a few sessions can really help you develop new patterns much, much more easily, with the support that you get, somebody who really, really wants to help you get to be much more effective and in charge of your life. Also, you can do your own health assessment at yourhealthinyourhands.usana.com. One of the tabs says, how healthy are you? And you can do your own health assessment. You do need a tape measure so that you can measure your waist and your hip size. You need to know how heavy you are. It takes about 10 to 12 minutes to complete. You will get a free health and lifestyle report with some recommendations about what you can change in order to improve your current state of health and help you to move towards any chosen health goals that you may have. And it will also give you a indication of what your current health risks are on the basis of the information that you've given. And that can be very, very useful because it can help you to really sort of see where you might be heading if you don't make some changes. It will also make recommendations on of USANA nutritional supplements. They are the highest awarded nutritional supplements in the world. They are remarkable. They have made huge differences to my own health. Again, you do not need to order any of them, but it would be interesting for you to see what is recommended. It's always worthwhile giving them, say, a 3 to 6 month trial, because in 6 months your cells pretty much most of your body's cells will have renewed. Some do take much longer than that, but if you consider that your cells have been renewing in without doubt with significant nutritional gaps, it is very interesting to see what difference can occur over 6 months. As I say, if you have any questions, please do write to me at clara.gibson@btinternet.com, and also to obtain the PDF for you to print off yourselves. So I wish you joy in finding out your own patterns and to developing the choice to develop new ones that will be much more useful to you. And until I hear from you, take care. Bye-bye.